All right, guys, so now we're going to create the menu, the mobile menu, and also add the JavaScript so that we can click this and it'll add the necessary classes to change this to an X as well as display the menu. So we want to go down here where we have the to do. So it's right under the nav tag. And we're just going to have a div. Let's give it an ID of menu. And then as far as classes, we're going to do absolute and say from the top 0, bottom -0, and left -0. We're going to make this a flex call because we want the items, the menu items, to be on top of each other in a flex column. We'll do self, let's say self-end to align them to the end. And we want it to be hidden by default. Okay. And then on width, for the width, we want that to go all the way across. So width full. We want it to take up the entire height. So we'll say min height screen, and we'll do padding on the y-axis 1. Let's do padding top though. We're going to do 40, and then padding left 12, and then space between items on the y-axis we'll do 3. And then for the text size, we'll do text large, and the text color will be white, and let's make it all uppercase, and let's make the background black. Okay, so that's the main div, and then inside here we'll just have our A tags. I'm just going to do a hover. So on hover, we'll make the text, let's say pink -500 or whatever color you want to do. And this will be the first one, which will actually, let's just copy this down. We're going to have, what, 5 of these? 2, 3, 4, 5. This one will be home. This one will be about. Then we have contact. Actually, what do we have for? No, let's do the same we have here. About, careers, events, product, support. So about, careers, events, products, and support. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Let's take hidden off though, just for now. All right. Something here isn't right. So we have, oh, I didn't put a class of flex. All right, so basically, when we come to the site, it's going to be display hidden, right? Because we don't want it to show unless we click the button. Then when we click the button, it's going to go from display hidden to display flex. So we want to start out with hidden, okay? And then when we add our JavaScript, what we want this to do when we click it is put the open class on the hamburger, so that gives it an X, and then change it from display hidden to display flex. So now let's create our JavaScript. So I'm going to create a folder called JS, and then inside there we're going to create, I'm just going to call it script.js, but of course you could call it whatever you want. And I'm just going to add this to the page. We'll go ahead and just add it up here. Let's do, we'll just put it like right here. Let's say script source, and it's going to be in the JS folder, and then script.js, and then we're just going to add defer to that. So that'll include the script. So what I want to do now is grab the button here. So that has an ID of menu BTN. So what we can do is from the document, we can get an element by an ID, and the ID we want is menu-btn. So we're getting that, and then we're going to add an event listener. So we're going to use add event listener, and I don't use semicolons, by the way. You could put a semicolon at the end, but I don't use them. So we want to put in here the event we want to listen for, which is a click, and then a function to run. And we could just go ahead and put, function like that, but I'm gonna add a named function called nav toggle. and then we can create that function down here. So we'll say nav toggle, and just for now, we'll do an alert. We'll just say alert 1, 2, 3. So now if I come over here and I click this button, we should see an alert. So we want to get rid of that, and remember what we want to do. We want to just toggle the open class for one thing on this, because we know if this has a class of open, it turns to an X. So let's create a couple variables, one for the button itself. Actually, you know what? We don't even need the variables. Let's just do a document dot. Well, no, I think since we call it up here, maybe we should put it in a variable. So we'll do it up here. We'll say const button equals, and then we'll set it to this. So it's just getting the button from the DOM, from the document object model. Then we can just add btn there. And then we can also do here btn, and we can, from the class list object, there's a method called toggle, and that will just toggle a specific class, and we want to toggle the class of open. So now if I come over here and click, it goes from open, and then it takes the class off, so it just toggles it. You can also do add and remove. So if I just do add and I click it, it will add the class, but that's it. I can't go back. So you want to use toggle if you want to be able to actually toggle it. Now for the menu, that has to change. For that to display, we have to change it from, where is it? We have to change it from display hidden, which is this right here, to display flex. So not only do we have to remove this hidden class, we have to add the flex one. So, or toggle them, I should say. So let's actually create another variable up here for the actual menu. So we'll call this, we'll just call it menu. And then let's say document dot get element by ID, and that has an ID of, did I give it an ID? Yep, ID of menu. Okay, so just menu. Then we can come down here. Let's just copy this down, and we want to take the menu, and we want to then toggle the flex class, okay, which it doesn't have to begin with, so that means it's going to add it on the first click, or the first toggle. Then we also want to take on the menu, we want to toggle the hidden class as well, which it does have by default. So when we click it, the first toggle is going to take it off. So now let's save, and let's click this, and there we go. So now this has an open class, and this is display flex. If I click it again and toggle, this doesn't have the open class anymore, and the menu is now hidden again. All right, so pretty cool. And I like how it looks like, you know, behind here, the image comes up and it's black behind it. So I think that looks pretty good. And now we have a responsive menu. And of course, on medium screens and up, we don't see that. We don't see that button or menu. And we'll be using something similar in other projects as well. So I might, in future projects, I might just kind of paste stuff in because we've already gone over it. All right, so that's it for this project, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and let's move on to the next one.